Hello and welcome to Out of Combat, our D&D after show where we're talking about episode 79 of our campaign. I'm Virtual Spectre, joined by the DM Maximus Rake and Bunny Dreadful, and we had a heck of a session today.
Wowie, yeah, we did.
Yeah. You in particular, how are you feeling about your sword switcheroo?
So, a lot of things happened. My cursed sword decided to become corporeal, and so I had to fight a big bad demon who was pretty badass looking, actually.
He was gross looking and scary.
Yeah, he was gross, but still cool. So that was kind of unexpected. Had no idea I was going to be fighting Jezroth. That was fun.
It was fun.
The setting in which we were fighting him in was really cool. The maps today were fantastic, gruesome, dark,
very cool,
really fun stuff. So that was a good time. Yeah. What did you think about it, Bun?
I agree. The maps were amazing. I'm curious, like, how you find such good maps. I wish I could remember the artist's name right now, but I can't. They're really cool. I was just like really worried that we were going to need to use more resources than we were comfortable using because we know we've got a big fight ahead of us. So like I was kind of stressed the whole time of like, okay, it's okay to use some things. We don't want to use everything. And I also like don't have the best spells prepared because we didn't know we didn't know it was going to be like this. So I'm feeling a little ill prepared, but I'm like very excited. So yeah,
and I get all of the like what I do is all the money that you all use to support the stream goes into licensing like good music and then licensing artists. So I'm patron of several different map makers that we use to find these maps, and I think tonight both of them were animated dungeon maps. Were the two the same artist for both of them, and kind of what I do is sometimes it's one way or the other. Sometimes I'll think of, hey, I am going to be in like a dwarven city. Maybe I'll find like some dwarven stuff and I'll look through and try and find what I'm looking for and kind of adapt it. And then other times I might just see something. I'm like, that's cool. I want to use that, and I'll plug it in later. So it happens from like either direction, depending on like where the inspiration goes. But I was just happy to find for this particular session that there was a map of basically like a hellscape happening in a city, and just kind of got lucky into there and did some other things like tint the whole maps to like red to kind of sell some of that stuff. But it was pretty interesting. And I will say, like, on the subject of like the city, being a hellscape from incursion from demons, that is specifically sort of the change that needed to happen for Jezroth to escape the sword.
Okay.
He's trapped for centuries, but now you're in an area where demons are taking over. There's a literal, demons are pouring out of something or somewhere into this plane, and that was what sort of tipped the scales in their favor due to all the things like the imbalance in like the material plane and what that would cause. So,
gotcha. I feel kind of like I was actually surprised we defeated him so quickly.
You have a lot of help.
Yeah, we had a lot of allies, but I feel like he probably could have done some weird stuff that we didn't get to see. Really, he had the long arms, which is pretty awesome, and he did that shadow thing.
I was so mad because I like blocked the entrance, and then he was just like, haha. And I was like, man.
And you've got to think is that he was sort of a sort of assassin type himself. That's why they wanted his power into this sword. And there are other things that he could have done that weren't beneficial in that particular moment, like an absolute expert in trying to hide from people, but that's not going to help him in that setting, right? You're all there, and he wants to eat Valken, for breakfast.
He wanted to murder you. He was so mad at you, and you're like, hey, what did I do?
I thought we were friends.
I mean, they're demons, chaotic evil. That's their thing. They don't give a shit, what you've done or who you are. No. They have an idea in their mind, and that's what it is.
I don't know the mechanics behind Ron killed him with a smite, right?
Yes.
Now, because he died to Radiant, does that mean he's gone, or does he go back to where he came from?
So demons, and this goes into a little bit of like D&D lore, and which holds true in my setting, is that when you kill a demon on the material plane, like they don't die, they just go back to the abyss where they came from.
That's what I thought about, because he dissipated. He didn't just like.
Yeah, all of these demons are doing the same thing where they just sort of dissipate in shadow or ash or whatnot, because they're not dead. You have to kill a demon in the abyss for them to be dead. So
he's probably somewhere in its plane or something, regenerating.
Somewhere in the plane and not able to get back, because it does take time. They don't immediately go back and then jump back in. So
so we moved through the streets from there to another incredible looking map. It was a sea of blood with like bodies riding on the ground.
It just keeps getting worse.
It was so cool.
It's cool, but it's terrifying.
I think I mentioned early on, I was like, I feel like I'm in Doom right now fighting.
Pretty much, yeah. And that map, I thought that the sort of the little people reaching out would have played more, and all of like the blood would have been difficult terrain. But y'all just stayed and like turtled up and said, "All right, come get us."
Yeah.
I wasn't walking out that way. Nonsense. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
All the things came to us like immediately, so we really didn't have to move.
Yeah. It all happened fast too. Like I just felt like before I really knew what was going on, we were already just like there and everything is swarming us and fighting. And oh my gosh, can you please never say that word again? I hate it. That might be my least favorite word.
I won't say it. The P word.
You better say it so that people listening know what we're talking about. Just say it once. I'm not listening. I hate it. I don't know why. I just hate it.
Gross bug stuff.
Mm.
Now, everybody did really well in that fight, except for Valken. I rolled so badly on the con saves both times.
Screwed over a couple times. Yeah. And then the Baron tried to drag you to your death. Are we sure he's on our side? I'm just saying.
I think the plan was to flank, right? But
yes. He saw that as an opportunity that one of his allies was down, was prone, to say, hey, let's spread this out a little bit, so you're not just all balled up in one place, which is a pretty decent tactical move to do that, but it just didn't work out. It worked out to where the drone got you from the bug demon and made you immediately unconscious, which is really dangerous. And him pulling you out of that, it just so happened that you just both got stunned.
Yeah, because if I stayed unconscious, I would have. Anything that hit me would have crit, right? So.
Yeah, if you are unconscious, every hit within 5 feet of you is a crit automatically. Oof. So that's not good.
Yeah, I just rolled terribly on those saves.
But I mean, you more than made up for it once you figured out what your sword can do now for the moment.
I'm glad you told me to refresh, because I hadn't done it yet.
You're just like refresh and you're like, wait, what?
Well, I was confused at first. That's why I was like, wait, it's worse, because I saw it was like a D10 plus 5, and then it was like a D10 plus 4, and I'm like, wait. But then I saw there was also 2 D10 off to the side. I'm like, I don't know how to read this.
Yeah, the D4 was my fault, because with the optional monk feature that you use allows you to wield that longsword as a monk weapon, but you have to check a box. I didn't check the box for you until later, so that's why it's better.
It on my end, and
gotcha.
I don't know if this is correct. Maybe you can review it, but my plus to hit is like plus 13 now.
Yeah, and it's a plus 8 damage too. So.
And there's also it says a gain plus 3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. Is that already calculated in?
Yep, okay, it's all in there. So yeah, and it's a legendary weapon, as I mentioned during the stream, that the Spirit of Gin is actually assisting you through this blade. With there's being something special about this blade, that it can house these sort of entities, and what allowed this to happen is the demon vacated that sword under those conditions, which basically left an open spot for something else to get in there. And unbeknownst to how or why it happened to you just yet, Gin jumped in there to help.
Yeah, like that immediately crossed his mind when he first heard the voice in his head, thinking like, but wait a minute, he got taken. What's this mean? Like, is he dead? What's happening? And it's like, I don't know. Falcon doesn't know. He's just pushing forward.
Yeah. It's a lot. And that's what I'd kind of mentioned too, is under these circumstances, like the group doesn't really get to see, like all of like Kular Halas and its greatness, because it is being, it's being just taken over by demons.
Yeah. We need just a nuke. This place is done for.
Yeah. So
what else do we have? We're on the cusp of, we made it into the tower.
Yeah, and that's sort of what the Baron had mentioned, that no one's allowed in there. So no one's been in there. So surprises.
So no one's been in there for how long? Do we know?
Ever.
So who knows what we're gonna run into here?
Yeah, only the Archmage.
We're in the Dark Wizard's tower.
Yes,
and him and the Baron have been like off the deep end for decades.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh boy. It's gonna be more gross stuff.
Super suspicious about like, is it easy to get in?
Yeah, I am too, but I also like, what are we supposed to do? We just gotta keep moving forward, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But apparently there's some crazy stuff up ahead. Puzzle?
Apparently. I hope it's a puzzle. I love puzzles. Max hates puzzles though, so we'll see. I don't know.
They're not my thing, but I try to include like, different elements of like the D&D experience for everyone. Cause I mean, as a player, I don't like puzzles. Like give me a first grader puzzle so I can just like power through it. But I know different players like puzzles, different players like RP, different puzzles. Players like combat and stuff. So yeah, the little puzzle for this one.
You can solve this one then, because your character's smarter than mine. I think.
I don't know. At least Bryn has like really good intelligence. So hopefully if we're stumped, I can like make some rolls and see if she can like figure out some hints. But yeah, I like, because I like the idea of puzzles. I don't know. We'll see how hard it is.
Yeah, I think this will be on Bryn and probably Vin to figure out this one. Both of you guys. Falcon's not much of a puzzle guy.
He could be, maybe. Who knows?
If I roll really well on something, maybe.
Maybe so.
I think I'm a -1 on intelligence. Yeah. So.
That's like my highest stat, so I'm pretty good. But it just depends. Depends what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird sort of in between of like with puzzles in D&D. Is it the player solving it? Is it the character solving it? I always have a problem with that because, let's say that that VS, you're like super great at puzzles in real life, but your character's a -1 intelligence. Like it feels good to be able to solve something and put it forward. I don't know. It's a weird thing where I think meta knowledge is okay because puzzles are hard enough in the real world.
I think for puzzles, we should all be working together as players to solve them. But if we can't, then we should be rolling to use our character stats to help us. And then like if one character is really smart, like if I solved it, but another character was smarter than me, I'd still say that they like solved it, right? Like maybe my character did something dumb that gave them the idea, but then they like, I don't know. It is tricky.
I tend to play things as my character would play it. However, if I really see us struggling on something and I have an idea, I can play it off as like, oh, Falcon had a random ping of inspiration about it. And said, hey, maybe can we try that maybe or something? But yeah, most things I'll default to playing it through my character. Like what would they do in the moment?
That's what I try to do. I think that's what all of us try to do, which is what makes us such good. Such good character based.
Super fun knowing like on some moments in the past, it's like I think we should be really doing this thing right now, but Falcon doesn't know that, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let them figure it out.
Yeah. I guess my question to you all is, knowing like where you are and how close to the end of like the campaign that you are, like, what are you expecting to find in this tower, and like what are you expecting to find you if and when you find the Archmage? Like, what's kind of going through your mind? Like, what possibilities are you trying to like, create contingencies for?
I'm expecting puzzles and traps first. And then I'm expecting that he's got this portal open and he's doing some crazy thing. I'm hoping that whatever he's doing is making him vulnerable, so we can just like run in there and just clobber him. But I'm sure he has things like guarding him. We don't know. And then I had a really crazy thought. I don't want to like spoil anything, but I had a really crazy thought.
Maybe he thinks this tower is completely secure, and maybe he's alone.
Did you put 2 and 2 together, PS, that Falcon Sensei is potentially dead?
Yeah, I was just saying that. Like when.
And did you put the other? But that the dead are coming back to life.
Oh no, I didn't think about that.
I had just started panicking about that halfway through the session. Of like, what if we have to fight people we know when we get in here?
Well, the fact that his spirit is seemingly in my sword, that's why I didn't think of him being an undead. Unless somehow his corpse is being puppeted.
I guess it's hard to say because I don't know how their demons are coming back. Is it demons inside undead bodies? Or is it...
So a couple things that you do know. Bodies? If Gin's spirit is in your sword, and you know the Archmage wanted Gin's body to extract the Wand of Orcus, there's something that you can sort of infer from that, which soon enough you'll see. But also the dead coming back thing, you've noticed as a particular phenomenon in Kular Halas based on what's happening there.
Right.
Knowing that the Archmage wants to bring the Bloodlord into the material plane, and there's some sort of gates being opened, allowing these demons to come through from his realm. That seems very realm of possibility of Orcus type stuff where the dead start coming back.
It's very scary.
Yeah, I mean, given that information, Gin's body could be literally physically being transformed into Orcus right now or something.
We'll find out.
I have no idea. I'm still new to D&D. I don't...
you can't play the I'm new here card now.
Well, we're know,
79 episodes in.
I don't know how everything works, though. I don't know how like demon magic works or anything.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Like, I don't know anything about the other planes. My knowledge is still very surface level. Like,
it all works how I say it works.
That's the stuff that I don't look up unless I need to for a character, because I actually find it easier to not accidentally like metagame too much.
Yeah.
Like, the hardest one for me is like trolls. I know you use fire against trolls. It's really hard to like not bring that knowledge into game. It's just hard.
Yeah.
So it's better. Like I'm saying, it's good to not know a lot, right? Because
it's always good in that particular instance, because it's one of those things that you might know that knowledge, but you could still work your way around that as a player of, hey, I know that fire against trolls, but you could always say, hey, DM, can I roll like a nature check or something to see if I know anything about, or like a history check, because maybe if you're a seasoned adventurer, maybe you read or heard along the way, and that, that might take your action, but then you can kind of get that out there to help people. So that's how I would handle it. But
yeah,
but a lot of what was that?
No, I was gonna say I don't know what the final encounter is gonna look like. It's some crazy spectacle of some kind.
Yeah,
maybe.
And you all will find out on the next episode of Castles and Cantrips. So if you haven't already, go check out our YouTube, go check out our website, castlesandcantrips.com. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow on all the different platforms. But the campaign's drawing to a close. You can always check out our new YouTube video to get caught up if you aren't caught up just yet.
Yeah, go get caught up.
Yeah, and then we will all see you next time. So thanks everybody, and we love you. Bye.
Thanks for watching.